Can you guys hear me all right?
Yep, you sound good.
Cool. Cool. Give me 1 second. All right. I had like 10 people said they were going to join at least. So let's wait until 5:05 before I ask everyone to introduce himself. If you are in front of a camera, that'd be great. So we could virtually see you. If not, no worries. But I want this to be as human as possible. So we'll wait until 5:05. If you can't turn on your camera, please do. In the meantime, I'm going to send in the Zoom chat a call script that we're going to be referencing throughout the whole call. So we'll wait 3 more minutes and then we'll get started with introductions. Okay, I just sent the call script doc in the chat. Please make a copy. You won't be able to edit it. And there's a lot to look at, so don't worry, I'm going to cover everything. Okay, no worries, Chandra. If yeah, whenever you get a chance, that'd be awesome. 1 more minute, we'll get started. Well, we can start now. Who, Ed, can you hear me right now?
Yeah.
Cool, you want to introduce yourself? We'll try to keep it to like a minute max, but maybe just your name, where you're calling from, and where you're at in your job hunt.
Sure. So my name's Ed Castillo. I live here in the Windy City in the Midwest of Chicago. I've been applying for SDR jobs for the last 6 months.
Okay.
Uh, Needless to say, I definitely have been making a lot of improvements. In the very beginning, it was kind of difficult just trying to break through that first HR interview.
Yep.
Eventually, just with all these interviews that kept on going, I managed to break through. And right now, I'm just having trouble trying to break through the very final round.
Got it, man. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Happy you're on here.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next? Just unmute yourself and speak up, or I'm gonna pick on someone if nobody does. Let's see. Julian, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
You want to introduce?
Um, yeah, I'd be happy to introduce myself. I'm actually also going to switch my device, so I was going to rejoin the call in just a moment. But
No problem.
I can start with an introduction though. Um, yeah, so my name is Julian. I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I am a recent college grad, and I have been searching for SDR roles for about 6 months or so. I'd say same as Ed. And yeah, I'm just trying to level up my game and maybe get better at interviewing to secure more offers. And yeah, I'm just an aspiring SDR within the tech realm.
Love it, man. Where are you in the Bay Area?
I grew up around SF in San Mateo, but I currently live in the East Bay, like near Walnut Creek.
Dude, that's crazy, bro. I was born in Redwood City and I live in Discovery Bay now.
Oh, no way. Yeah, small world, huh?
Yeah, small world. Cool. Thanks for introducing yourself. If you do add your other device, no worries. I'll add it right in once you're in the lobby.
Okay, thank you.
Who's next? Is it Samira? Samira?
Samir,
Samira, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
sure. What's the guidelines? You guys want to know?
Now just give us your name and maybe where you're from and how many months you've been on your job hunt.
What was that last part?
How long your job hunt's been so far?
Oh, okay, so I'm Samira. Um, my job hunt it's been 6 months. And what's the second question? I'm sorry, I'm having trouble
It's all right. It's
retaining.
all right. Where are you calling from?
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, nice. Okay. I don't. I guess how many more people we got? Four? Who's I? What's your name? There's I and iPhone. Hello, hello. Okay, I guess they stepped away. And then Donnie, can you hear us?
Yeah, Lucas, I can hear you, man.
Well, I know who you are, but do you want to tell everyone else who you are real quick?
Well, I'm the Caribbean person, just really want to be an SDR. That's really it.
Cool, man. Well, Cassandra told me she's driving. She'll turn on her camera when she gets home. Reason I want everyone to introduce himself is this is going to get very interactive. Later in the call, we're going to break out in breakout rooms and practice with each other. So it's better that we figure out who we are now than later. But you know, if this person in your breakup or breakout room isn't interacting, just come back to the lobby and I'll do it with you. So, first things first, who am I? I I don't know if you guys have been following me for a while on LinkedIn, but I've been in the sales world for about 18 months now. Prior to that, I had no college degree, I had no experience, and it was a mess trying to land a job. Thank God I met a mentor who helped me basically walk me through the blueprint that I'm about to give to you guys. And I landed a job within 2 months ish of applying. So I'm down the road. I got promoted. I'm an account executive now. I still do cold calls. I'm a full cycle AE. And I realized looking back, if I would have met that mentor earlier on in my job hunt, it would have been priceless. And now I play that role for others. So I help people just like yourself who have been on the job hunt for a long time, land their role, and try to minimize as much time as it takes as possible. So part of that is a big part of this is cold calling. I don't know if you guys were applying to jobs 10 years ago, but you used to be able to walk in and give them a paper resume and you got the job, or at least an interview. Technology takes over, people start mass applying, and then they start emailing after applying, and then everyone's sending emails after applying, then people putting videos in their email, and then everyone's putting videos in their email, and now it's almost impossible to stand out. And it's crazy that it's come to this, but now you have to be cold calling if you want to land more interviews. So the rest of this call, I'm going to go over the fundamentals that you need to get in your head before you cold call. And then I'll go through the framework of how to structure your cold call and how to work through it. And then we'll go through the script and practice that. And then we'll break out into rooms, do some live breakouts and role playing with each other. And then we'll do that for like 10 or so minutes. And we'll come back and I'll do a general Q&A for the rest of the call. So first things first, when it comes to cold calling, it's extremely nerve wracking. And when we do this breakout, you guys are going to be nervous and it's going to suck. It's going to be really awkward, but it's just part of it. And once you're on the job, those nerves are still there. You're going to make your first cold call. You're freaking out because you don't really know the product. You don't know what to say if they're being mean or whatever that is. So if you're able to overcome that now and prove to the hiring manager that you can do this job, they're going to give you the interview no matter what. So something you need to keep in mind is nobody else is cold calling these managers. So if your call isn't perfect, it's okay. You know, they're going to hear that you're nervous and they're going to respect the fact that you got over those nerves to call them in the first place. So just getting to that point is a huge step from differentiating yourself from other people. The second thing, before you go into the cold call, it's very tempting to have a script written out that you read word for word. The problem is with a script, if you're following it word for word, if they ask you a question off your script, you're going to panic and your brain's not going to function because you're going to be looking for a crutch to fall on. So it's very important not to rely on a script to memorize your opener, your value proposition, and what you say to certain objections. But everything in between that needs to be a natural flowing conversation. So that if they ask you something, you can just Bounce back like you're just talking to your friend. And then you also have to understand their perspective, right? So a lot of these people are going to be calling in the middle of their day, and it's the same thing as trying to sell a CEO a product. I mean, you're interrupting them and you're trying to get time on their calendar. So if they are rude to you, understanding how to handle those objections and turn it into a meeting will show them that you can effectively do this job and it benefits you because you landed the meeting or the interview in this case, if that makes sense. I'm going to jump into the framework. Does anybody have any questions before I do that on the fundamentals of cold calling?
Yeah, I have a quick question.
Shoot it.
So let me turn on my camera. Cool. So you mentioned like cold calling, I guess like hiring managers as like a really strong like technique, right?
Yes.
So that being said, how do you find like numbers of these hiring managers? I mean, like when I do my job search and I look for people to contact, I'm usually going through LinkedIn and like looking at their roles and stuff like that. But at the most, all I will get is their LinkedIn and maybe their email. So how do
Yes.
you get that call like started?
Yes, really good question. I'm really happy you asked that. So I'll share my screen with you guys. Do you see my whole screen or just the tab? Oh, wait. Can't see anything yet. Do you see my whole screen or just a tab?
Whole screen.
Okay, I'll make this bigger for you then. So there's two tools that I use. Fastpeoplesearch.com. I'm going to expose myself here. So if you guys want to call me, go ahead. It's actually pretty scary how much information this will give you. If you see, so say you pull up someone's LinkedIn, you can just get an understanding of how old they are, you know, like 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. You can match their age here and make sure you spell their name right. And also, if you have the city that is on their LinkedIn, you can put it here as well. And you'll find their phone number. This is actually my old number, so they don't have my current number. This is only accurate about 50% of the time. I'd say 70. But because you're not paying for actual like sales data platforms, Fast People Search is going to be your best friend. This is how I found all my hire manager phone numbers. It's more than 9 times out of 10 is going to be accurate, especially if the person is older because they have more phone records to go off of publicly. Another great one that is a huge help in the job hunt, and I highly recommend that you guys use this, is Apollo IO. If you're in my free community, I have a section on how to use this, but once you're in Apollo, let me log in real quick. This will give you, it gives you a certain amount of credits per month, I think, for free. And you can request mobile numbers with those credits. Let me see.
I ran out of credits.
You've ran out of credits?
Yeah.
Then you can always go with the HQ number and try to get through that way. The HQ number will be free, but you can request phone number. It'll pull their mobile number. Unless you pay for Apollo credits, there's really no other way between that and Fast People Search. But Fast People Search will be your best friend throughout this whole thing. So, and also like keep in mind, if you're on the job and you call the headquarters to try to speak with the person you're looking to get in touch with, if you're a sales rep, they're not going to let you through. But if you tell them, like, I applied for this role and I'm looking to speak with Brian because I was told he was a hiring manager, they're going to let you through to him because they're respecting what you're doing, right? So just be as resourceful as you can between these two resources.
Another one that I use is called Lead IQ.
Oh, I never heard of it.
I've gotten plenty of numbers from there before.
Nice. Is it free?
Yes.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
I'm going to go through the headache of signing up, but yeah, if you guys have anything helpful throughout this whole thing, please share. This is a very open call. So, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And if you guys, by the way, I think most of you guys that are here are in my free community, but if you're having trouble finding a hiring manager, I have a couple of videos on that as well on who to find. Sales reps are a great resource to use to hit up other sales reps at that company on LinkedIn. Be like, hey, just apply for this role. I'm messaging this person. Are they the right hiring manager? And they'll get back to you. If not, there's a couple other methods, and you could find that in section 5 under the breaking in corporate thing. Can you resend the Zoom link? Or yeah, I'll do that right now, you guys. Does everyone, here, I'm gonna send it right now. Does everyone have the call script that I just sent in the Zoom chat? Everyone has access, okay. Yeah, Hunter.io, I don't know who Zoom user is exactly, but Hunter.io is great for emails. I don't know how often they find mobile numbers, but I use that all the time for emails.
So can I ask a follow-up question?
Yes, absolutely.
So when you basically kind of like look for hiring managers in this like fast people search, and then you just call them up like regular cold call?
I put them through a cadence. So typically I'll send them an email first. And then once I'm on the call, there's actually in the value proposition, if you will, you're kind of referencing the email you sent in case they did get a chance to see it. But I'm using Apollo.io to send emails through. And then I put a task on that person. And then on day 3, I call them. So yes, it's just like a regular cold call. Like you are selling something, but instead you're selling yourself in an appropriate way.
Gotcha. So you like reference the previous attempts you made to reach them, such as like email.
Yeah, so we're gonna actually we're gonna get into the script in a second. I'm gonna go through the outline first, and then you'll see in the script that you are referencing the email that you sent them previously.
All right, sounds good.
Cool. So, okay, we got someone else. Openers is the biggest part about a cold call, and openers don't come now. I mean, like when you do an opener, your first opener, you're gonna be super nervous. So just practice this over and over and over. And it's easy to sound robotic. Like on this job hunt, you guys, you're not gonna be making thousands of cold calls like a BDR would on the job. But it is so important to practice this over and over. So through your opener, you're gonna have a very curious and friendly and humorous tone. You're not just gonna sound robotic like, hey, Lucas, this is Cassandra, I'm calling you about the position in XYZ. It's going to sound like a generic sales rep, and you want to stand out from other people. After you get through the opener, which is going to be permission based, so you're asking them permission to pitch, you're going to go right into your value statement, or your value proposition is what you call it on the job. In this case, it's basically just giving the reason you're calling and then proving to them that you have the necessary skill set by throwing in some very subtle words in there. And it's a great opportunity to show off the research you've done about this prospect as well. Something I forgot to mention, make sure going into this that you do as much research as possible on the company. You should be knowing that before you apply anyway, but you need to know exactly what they sell and who they sell it to. Because once you're on the call, you need to explain that you did your research. So a couple ways in how you can find that. You can go on their YouTube, and a lot of times they'll have product videos like explaining maybe a case study. We helped Lucas Arlano. He was an account executive, book 30 more meetings by XYZ. Right then and there, you know they sell stuff to account executives to help them book more meetings. So YouTube product videos are helpful, but the most effective way to learn this information is by speaking with a sales rep. So if you hit them up on LinkedIn and you say, hey man, I just applied to this job and I'd really like to understand what it's like on the inside. Can I steal 5 to 10 minutes of your time? If you do that for 5 sales reps per company you apply to, odds are somebody's going to give you their time of the day. And then on that, you can ask them, who do you sell this to? What's your competition? You can gather all of the information that you need in that conversation with them. So before you cold call, make sure you know their product and their company. In the engagement section, after you go to the opener, they give you permission to pitch. After you tell them why you're calling, if they're in a bad mood or they're super busy, they're going to try to brush you off. And this is a great opportunity to handle objections to get them into the meeting. Now, like I said, keep in mind, hiring managers don't get cold called very often. So if you cold call them and you crush the opener and you crush the value statement, they're not going to give you too much pushback. But if you sound like a robot and you completely butcher it, it's not too late. You can still make up for it in handling the objections they're going to give you. So let's say worst case scenario, you fumbled the opener completely and they're not too confident in your ability to do this job. What you're going to do, and maybe they'll say, I'll look at the application and get back to you later. I'm going to tell you exactly what to say after that in a little bit, but just know for now, when they give you an objection like that, have the answer memorized so that you know exactly what to say to that question, right? So we're memorizing the opener, value statement, and the objection handles. The last but not thing that you have to memorize, it's super simple. There's only a couple things you need to know here is when they give you permission to interview or book the meeting, I guess you will. I guess you could say to put it in terms of the BDR world. You want to do a couple things. You want to mention a couple time slots and confirm their email before you get off the call. So if they say, yeah, I'd love to interview you, you go, thank you so much. Right? Make sure you show genuine appreciation and be excited. Tell them I have some availability Thursday afternoon or Friday afternoon. A lot of people teach their reps to say Tuesday at 2 or Friday at 3, but it's very specific and it might cause the prospect to panic if they're not free at that time. They might just say, I'll just send you an email, man. So it's very important to give 2 time slots, but be more general. So maybe Thursday afternoon after 2 or Friday afternoon after 3. And it just gives them more time to work with you. 9 times out of 10, the hiring manager is going to send you the meeting link. So you need to make sure that you ask them, are you going to send me the link or do you want me to send it? If they say you send it to me, make sure you confirm the email before you get off the call. Now that we've gone through the framework, I hope everyone, is it Aton? Did you get the Zoom link that I mean the Google Doc I sent in the Zoom chat, or did you join too late?
I
Okay.
joined too late, so
Okay, I'll send it again for you.
thank you.
If you open that, I have if everyone's looking at the doc, I don't know if everyone is, but I've given you like a scenario of someone being nice at the first half of the script, and then scenario B is them being mean. But for purposes of this call, maybe you guys can reference that later. But I've given you if you scroll down, number 1 opener. This is the opener that you're going to be using. I actually have Leon, see someone I'm working with now as his name in here, so put that as your own name. But this is what the opener is going to sound like. Hey, Lucas, this is Leonce. If I was completely upfront with you and told you I was cold calling you regarding the open BDR position in San Francisco, would you throw your phone out the window or would you give me 30 seconds? Realize I'm smiling and it brings a humorous tone to the table. Another variation of this opener is just getting straight to the point, saying, "Hey, Lucas, this is Leonce. I just applied for the BDR position 2 days ago in San Francisco. This is by every means a cold call. May I tell you I'm calling?" So I practice those 2 a bunch, and I say it the same way every time, and I'd highly advise you to do the same. Does anyone have questions about the script before I go into the rest of this? Or anything we've covered so far?
Can you
Just
repeat the humorous one, the first one you did?
Yeah. If you open up the Google Doc, it's the first line under call script. I should have put it further down under opener. But it's, hey, name, this is Lucas Arellano. I applied for the BDR position 2 days ago in San Francisco. Now, this is by every means a cold call, but may I tell you why I'm calling?
No, I'm talking about the one where you like, did you throw your phone out the window?
Oh, yeah. So if you scroll down on the doc, sorry about that. If you scroll down on the doc, it's under opener. So it says number 1 opener. It's, hey, name, this is Lucas. If I was completely upfront with you and told you I was cold calling you regarding the open BDR position in San Francisco, would you chuck your phone out the window or would you give me 30 seconds? Did someone else have a question?
Oh yeah, I do have a question. So if for example there's like a company, right, that's actually not advertising for a sales development rep, and you're actually cold calling for any sales development opportunities to be added onto the manager's team, what would be the opener will be?
So what was the question? If you're calling someone that doesn't have a job listing open?
Yeah, advertise. and you're just cold calling regarding any opportunities that they're planning to be advertised, what would be the opener for this?
I would just be straight up with them, bro, and be like, "Hey, Donnie, this is Lucas. If I were to be upfront with you here and tell you I was cold calling you in hopes to join your SDR position in XYZ, even though there's not an open job posting, would you throw your phone out the window or give me 30 seconds?"
Okay, cool. Got it.
Yeah, just shoot it straight.
All right, cool.
Cool. You know what? Just so everyone's not going back and forth on tabs, I'll share my screen for you to make this easy. So and you guys can see this, right?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
cool. So the opener, here are two variations. I just copied this one from up here and put it down here. This is what you're going to memorize. If they give you permission and they say, go ahead, you're going to move right into the value proposition. And I have an example up here what this might sound like. It's okay to type this out, guys, like I said, and have this scripted. I just wanted to give you the framework so you can type out your own if this didn't sound like your own wording. But this is a scripted version that you're more than welcome to use for the value proposition. Yeah, I'll give you 30 seconds, man. Awesome. Thank you so much, John. So just to be clear, I followed all the steps on the job application. I submitted my resume, my cover letter, and even sent you an email with an outbound strategy document or 90-day plan or whatever, or video introducing myself. And I'm super familiar with your product and how you guys are helping sales teams book more meetings, for example. However, I'm not the type of seller to sit around and wait for a result. I figured if I could cold call you and demonstrate my skill set, I might as well ask if we can find some time in the near future to discuss this role in more depth and see what they say. Now, if you say those things the right way, they're going to let you get a meeting and then you can go right into the meeting booker. But sometimes they're going to give you a hard time and they're going to say, sorry, I haven't had the time to look at the application, or I'll get back to you when I look at it. And that's when we come into the objection handling. And we really want to get down our responses to these questions. So up to this point, the call, you can pretty much predict how it's going to happen. The opener is going to be the exact same every time, whichever one you want to choose out of the two I gave you. And then, I mean, maybe they say, are you selling me something? And you go, no, I'm not selling you something, just to be clear. And you go into the value prop. So it always goes opener, straight into the value prop. After this, be ready for the call to go all over the place. They might say, the most common answers are either going to say, yes, it's an interview, or I'll look at your application and get back to you. So in the event they say, I'll look at the application and get back to you, this is exactly what you're going to say to that objection. No worries, John. I totally understand that your inbox is probably flooded with applicants. Since I have you on the phone, would you be totally opposed to getting some time on the calendar when you do have an opening so we could chat to see if we'd be a good fit? When it comes to scripting objection handles, there's three things you want to keep in mind. Always repeat back their objection. So I totally understand you're probably flooded because that's what they're telling you. I'll look at it and get back to you. Sympathize with it. You know, I understand you're busy, but since I'm on the phone, and then rephrase the question to ask what you want, but also please what they want. Since I have you on the phone, I'll give you some time to look at my application, but would it be a bad idea to pencil in some time down the road to discuss this in more depth? So you're rephrasing the way you ask. Now, you only have a couple chances to get them to rephrase your question without pissing them off. And if they sound pissy after you say this and they go, no, man, I have told you, I'll look back at this and I'll get back to you. One, reconsider if you want to work for that person. And two, you can throw out this sentence and it's really going to make them use their brain. It's like a super last ditch effort. You go, okay, John, no worries. Can I ask you one last question before I let you go? Sure, man. What do you got? What else can I do to demonstrate my skill set to earn this interview with you? And if at that point they don't want to give you the interview, there's not much you can do. I highly doubt it's going to get to this point, but I want to cover all areas so you guys can go into this job hunt fully prepared. And I know I'm throwing a lot at you here. Don't worry about memorizing this before we do our breakout rooms. You're going to have this in front of you. The main point of those breakout rooms are to get you comfortable with the script and focus on the way you're saying things. You don't want to sound robotic. Try to have influx in your voice. Any questions so far, you guys, on the objections or just anything, the opener, the value proposition?
So how long should the call last when you're calling a hiring manager?
I wouldn't focus on how long the call should last because if you're having a good conversation, make it 30 minutes. If they're
Okay.
like, hey, man, where are you from? If you get someone that wants to talk to you, take advantage of that. You always want to prioritize natural conversation other than the script. So let's say I go, you're cold calling me, Cassandra, and I'm like, wow, I really love that opener. It sounds like you got an accent. Is that a California accent? Yeah, I'm from the Bay Area. Where are you from? Oh, me too, man. I was born out there. Ask them, where are you from? Like, where are you born? And have that natural conversation. It's very important to understand how to do that. The most important thing you should be focusing on is keeping your answers as concise as possible because you want them to do the most amount of talking as possible, which isn't that easy when you're trying to land an interview as opposed to like selling a product. But you want to make sure that your value proposition is as concise as possible and that it's don't rumble on because you're scared to stop talking and sounding stupid, which is also something that people have a problem doing, right? They may be on the phone and they'd be like, "Oh, I can't stop talking now because I'll sound dumb, so I have to keep talking till my point's proven." That's a very easy trap to get to fall into. Any other questions?
Yeah, I don't have any questions, but I think you're sharing the wrong tab, and you sharing the not the Google Doc for following.
Damn, you can see my school thing, not the Google Doc.
No, it's the ChatGPT one.
Oh, that sucks, dude. Can you see it now?
Yeah, it's good now.
Thank you, bro, for pointing that out. How embarrassing. No, cool. Is there any other questions before we move on to maybe some role plays in the breakout? No. Cool. Um, if anybody has the confidence to do it, I would love to do a role play before we did the breakouts. And then I can give you some live feedback, and then you guys can break out into the rooms and do this with each other. Does anybody want to give it a shot? Let's do it, man. Do you have the script up?
And let me get it up. And
It's like, yeah, I'll take it easy on you too, by the way.
okay.
We're focusing on tone and that you don't sound robotic. That's the biggest thing here, okay?
Yeah, I had a different script I've been practicing with, so I guess I'm a little more comfortable with that one because I had some practice with it, so it might be a little different.
Why don't you do it? And then, well, for sake of this, would you be comfortable trying to do a script for everyone else to learn
Yeah,
from?
for sure.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
Yeah, let me just scroll down. All right. Hey Lucas, this is Aiton. I just applied for the BDR position 2 days ago in New York. This is by all means a cold call. May I tell you why I'm calling?
Yeah, sure, Aiden. Why not? Go for it.
Awesome. And just to be clear, I followed all the steps on the job application. I submitted my resume and cover letter and just sent you an email. And I'm super familiar with your product and I know how you guys target the market and the pain point. But I'm not the type of seller to sit around and wait for a result. So I figured I could cold call you and demonstrate my skill set. And I might as well ask if we can find some time in the near future to discuss this role in more depth.
Yeah. Well, I definitely don't get a lot of cold calls for stuff like this, and I appreciate the amount of effort that you put into this. I'm just curious, how'd you get my phone number?
Hey, so I saw you were hiring on LinkedIn and that you were the hiring manager, and I was particularly interested in the role. So I got it through Apollo.
Cool. Wow, you're real resourceful. Yeah, we actually used Apollo on our sales team. So I'd love to set you up for an interview, man. Do you have any times that are available?
Yes, absolutely, and thank you. I appreciate you taking this call out of the blue. I have a free time at Monday afternoon or Tuesday afternoon. Does that work for you?
Yeah, I'm free Tuesday afternoon.
Awesome. Do you want me to send over the meeting link or will you send it?
Um, it's okay, man. I'll send it to you right after our call. and we'll get
Okay,
you.
perfect. And what is your email? Just to make sure that I have it on my end.
Yeah, it's luke.arlano@gmail.com.
All right, perfect. I look forward to it.
Cool,
Thank you.
man. Hey, you killed that, bro. That was actually very impressive. That's not your first time doing this, is it?
I've done it a couple times. I was just doing it earlier today, but it was a little different than it was like pretty much the same thing, but slightly different.
Cool. Does anybody have some things that they really enjoyed? Feel free to speak up. Like things that he did really well.
You
I love
practice, right?
I love the tone of his voice, first of all. Very soothing. It's not too high pitched. So great job. I would have
Yeah.
definitely have taken a call from you.
Yeah, me too.
You definitely
It
practiced the
flowed
script
pretty
beforehand,
well.
right?
I practiced a different script. It wasn't this, but I practiced that one, and I did a couple cold calls last week, and just like I had one earlier today that I picked up. But for the tonality one, actually, I watched Lucas your video, and you were talking about it on LinkedIn. After reading the why cold calling sucks, so that I was just trying to work on that lately.
Yeah, tonality big, and you crushed it. And if I was going to be super picky, it would be the tonality. And I know it's hard. You're reading off a script you never read before, but just more
Mhm.
fluctuation in your voice, maybe more hesitation to make it sound more natural. Anybody else have anything to add that they really enjoyed that he did really well?
It flowed really well.
It did. Yeah, I think a couple things I want to point out. You guys saw him smile as he did the opener. You can, if you close your eyes and you listen to someone talk while they're smiling, you can literally hear it, and that's huge while you're doing your opener and throughout the call. You don't want to sound forced. Like I would talk to you like this, that'd be really weird, right? But you definitely want to smile when it naturally would make sense. So, hey, Aiden, this is Lucas. I just applied for the BDR position a couple of days ago. This is by every means a cold call, right? It's like kind of a humor. So just keep that in mind. And also, because he was familiar with how these go, because he's practiced before, when I asked him how you got my phone number, he didn't panic and he didn't like look for the answer on the document. He had the natural conversation and gave me the honest answer, which is really all that they're asking for. You don't want to show your hand that you're reading off a script. Does anyone else want to give it a shot before we break out into the breakout rooms and we try this with each other? Yeah, go for it, Ed. Let's do
I'll
it.
give it a shot.
Okay, we'll do Ed, then we'll do Julian because I saw Ed's hand raised first.
Okay. Well, before we continue, can I ask a quick question about the last kind of run through we just did?
Please.
So, I noticed that you said, I'll go ahead and send the calendar link like tomorrow. So is
Yeah.
that like something that we can just accept, or should we like push back on like, oh, well, like, can you send it now instead of like we'll do it later, or should you just
Yeah.
hope
No,
they
that's actually a great point. If they say I'll send you the calendar link and they're very vague, actually regardless, if they say I'll send you the calendar link after this meeting, ask them, would you be opposed to me following up with you tomorrow if I don't get that link? Or if
yeah,
they say I'll send it to you on Monday, say, okay, I'll give you a call on Tuesday if I don't get it for whatever reason. So yeah, great question. I highly recommend that.
gotcha. Good point. Thank you.
Yeah, because I mean on the job too, man, you're gonna get people say all the time, send me an email and I'll get back to you on the phone. And you can't let them go. You have to say, okay, I'll type up an email for you. I'll put a lot of time into it, make sure it's relevant, and then pencil in some time for Tuesday at 2 to follow up. Does that work with you? So you want to show them that you have that skill by doing that, by penciling some time no matter what, never put it in their court.
Gotcha.
Great. Okay, let's do it, Ed. So,
All right.
hello, this is Lucas.
Hey, Lucas, this is Eddie. I've been looking for an SDR role, and I saw that you're hiring. Do you have a moment to chat? I promise to be brief.
Yeah, I got some time, Eddie.
Okay. So when SDR leaders are hiring, they typically look for certain skill sets, such as coachability, being a team player, openness. Curious, what does an ideal candidate look like for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, preferably experience, but drive to succeed and willingness to learn and definitely be a team player. Pretty much everything you highlighted.
Okay. Well, it sounds like those qualities are really important to your organization. How are you assessing those qualities in candidates, by the way?
mainly through interviews. But are you trying to tell me something, or you said you're trying to join our team?
Yes, I'm actually trying to join your team at the moment.
Okay.
Well, if
Okay.
you were to find an ideal candidate, how soon would you be looking to hire this new opening?
Um, well, we have a lot of applicants. So I'm really just sorting through them and
Mhm.
trying to see, from there, who our ideal candidates are.
Mhm. Well, yeah, I just wanted to call you and let you know that I wanted to throw my hat in the ring for this opening that you guys got going on. Do you have a brief moment either today or tomorrow after 2 p.m. so that we could go into more detail about my background?
Okay, so we're gonna stop right there. It wasn't bad. You had that script written out before?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
that
is from
wasn't
some other
bad.
LinkedIn guy, by the way.
Um, your tonality was great. First, I'm gonna open it up to other people of what they thought you did well, and then I'm gonna give you the criticism because that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
Cool. What do you guys think did Ed did really well there?
Um, I think you did really well at controlling the conversation. I would say in terms of the tonality, it, the way that you sound, you kind of like force it a little too much with
Yeah.
if I was in the call with you, uh, I wouldn't probably be a little bothered too much after it from just hearing you that much. So working on it, but yeah, but it's still improvements in sales and like I said, you control the call really well, without rumbling or like that. So that's definitely yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else? What do you guys think Ed did real well there?
I was actually gonna say that I like the tonality. Like there was a lot of it, like highs and lows. I liked it.
Yeah, I think so too, Ed. That's really definitely a strength for you there. If you do continue to use that script, which the opener wasn't bad at all,
Mhm.
couple things I recommend. No point asking the questions. Like, get into it as fast as possible because I was
Yeah.
really tempted to say, "Why are you calling me?" and get to the point, but I wanted to give you some grace for the sake of the exercise. So get through the opener, tell them why you're calling, and ask for the meeting right then and there. Can we interview? And you can't just say, I applied for the role. Can we interview? You're going to say, I applied for the role. I followed the steps. I did my research. I love what you're doing. Can we set up some time to chat in the future? Let them come to you and say, well, honestly, man, we're looking for people with drive and experience. And I don't know if you have that yet. I have to look at your application. Then you can use those objection handles that I gave you, saying, okay, well, you know what? I totally agree. You need to look into who you're interviewing before you do that. You have protocol to follow. So I'll send you another email now with my resume and cover letter. And since I have you on the phone, can we pencil in some time for Tuesday afternoon to follow up with each other on your thoughts? That makes sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, questions. I mean, it wasn't bad. I think if a hiring manager heard that, they'd see what you're trying to do because that's kind of what you do on the job when you're trying to sell a product. But at the end of the day, we're just focusing on the interview, and it sounded a little scripted in my opinion, because you were like trying to sell yourself a little too hard. But
Mhm.
overall, tonality is great, and if you bring that tonality into this script, you're going to do amazing, Ed.
Thank you.
Cool. So we're at 5:45. I scheduled this till 6:30. So what we'll do breakout rooms for. It shouldn't take more than a couple minutes per person, and we'll do. Who's okay? Can you hear me? Who's I? Can you guys see his name, or just say I for you?
Just as
Okay. I's not here. Donnie's here. Lance, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Lance is actually the guy that I referenced earlier. We're working together right now. So because I's not here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people total.
Just heads up, I'm about to head out. I gotta go as
Dang,
well.
that
Yeah, sorry
sucks.
about that.
No
I've been
problem. No problem. Are you leaving right now, or are you in like 5 minutes?
probably 5 minutes.
Okay, let's do a breakout room. And then if your partner is not there, or if your partner is Aiden and he leaves, come back to the lobby and I'll do it with you. So I'm gonna put you guys through there. We're gonna do like just if you can both run through it once. And then once you're done, just come back in here and we'll do that. So We have one, two. I'll do 3 breakout rooms. Open all rooms. All right, go ahead.
Hello. Oh, no one's even here. He might be in another breakout room.
Mhm. Probably so. Let's see.
Telling the other people to get back, maybe.
Yeah.
So correct me if I don't want to butcher your name, but Cassandra?
Cassandra.
Cassandra. Cool. Well,
Yeah.
nice to meet you. I was just curious. So I guess everyone here is looking for SDR roles. What are you
Yes.
like looking for aside from SDR? Like, are you looking at a specific company? Or
So I'm really, of course, where the big tech companies, Salesforce, Microsoft, Google, of course, those companies. But you have to start somewhere. So definitely SDR, BDR roles. I actually have an interview this coming Friday. So, definitely in the need of making sure I have a proper cadence down for the job interview process. And so, yeah.
cool. Good luck with that. I wish you luck on your
Thank you.
interview. I'm
You
just
too.
curious. Thanks. Hello,
Um,
everybody.
how did everyone do?
Well, Julian Eaton did great.
Yeah, you guys work out some kinks?
Yeah, I think we all just got like one run through and try to give each other some feedback, but it went well.
Good, 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 good. So I realized when I was talking to Samira, the outline I gave you guys on this document isn't super clear. So if you want to go back and make some changes on it now and then make another copy, and this should be a lot easier. Um, like I said, I had this scheduled till 6:30, but there's just a couple more things I want to touch on here. Um, make sure, as I told you, Julian, earlier, and I'm really happy you brought that up, when they give you permission to book the meeting, you're telling them, if I don't receive the email, can I follow up with you a day after they said that they send you the link or whatever? Um, and then make sure that you do time slots, not specific times. So Tuesday afternoon instead of Tuesday at 2. When it comes to voicemails, if they don't answer, um, you're gonna send the same voicemail instead of asking for the call back. Ask for them to look at the email you're about to send them, and then respond to the first email you sent them if you already sent one. The voicemail script's in the doc. If you scroll down, it's just, hey, name, this is Lucas Arellano. I applied for the BDR position 2 days ago in San Francisco. I wanted to follow up with an email. No need to call back unless you like. I'm going to send you an email now coming from luke.arellano@gmail.com. You can respond me there to let me know if it's worth the conversation. You're respecting their time. A lot of times sales reps ask for a call back and they never get one because everyone asks for a call back. So tell them to look at their email, and if it's compelling enough, they'll give you the interview. And then gatekeepers, guys, if you can't get their mobile number, you have to call the HQ. If you say just like this, hey, is Cassandra on? It's Luke. It sounds like you know the guy, and they're going to put you through. This is what I use in my day-to-day job. If you go, hey, I was looking to speak with Cassandra. This is Lucas with, or I don't know, this is Lucas. Is she available? It sounds like you're trying to sell her something. So be familiar. And then if they ask you, what is this about? Oh, I applied for the open BDR position in SF and I wanted to chat with him. And they'll put you through. But the more familiar you sound, hey, is Cassandra available? This is Luke. It sounds like you're friends and they're going to let you through. Okay, so I put both the voicemail script and the gatekeeper script in this document. And then if you look back, I kind of reorganized some things and typed them out in a different order to be more digestible. I'm going to open this up to general Q&A for the rest of the call. And then I'll give you, I guess, a clear next action or challenge to help you in your job hunt. So any general questions, you guys, or anything that came up in your breakouts that you're curious about?
I have a quick question about the script. Did you mention that you made edits to it? Did you change something from when we first got it?
I didn't like change any wording. I just changed like the format of things so that I separated the script with the frameworks because Samira was really confused and I realized that I didn't make it as clear as possible. So,
Okay, gotcha. I was just trying to see what you changed. Thank you.
and then I added in there for under the meeting booker, make sure to schedule in a time that you'll follow up with them. But you already were on top of that, Julian. So,
Okay.
any other questions, you guys?
This is more of a personal question to you. So, like, how long do you have like those nerves of anxiety when it came to like picking up the phone to make cold calls? Because I'm pretty sure that's something that we've all felt before. You're just like trying to postpone the inevitable.
Yeah, you guys
But
felt it.
we're still in this for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. So the harsh reality is it really never like the first call I make every day, I still get a little nervous because it's just, I don't know, it's just the nature of it. So don't allow the anxiety to prevent you from doing this. Understand that the next job that you apply for, be optimistic, don't be too negative, but it's probably not going to be the job that you land. And it's okay if you bomb the call. But when you bomb the call, you learn so much. You're like, okay, I'm never going to say that again. That was retarded. Why did I say that? So it's going to take a lot of fails for you guys to master this. So my best advice to you is practice this as many times as you can, but don't use that as an excuse to start your job hunt, start cold calling. So maybe give yourself 3 days to practice this. Maybe it's a week. I wouldn't go longer than a week to practice and just get on the phone. And after you have that first nightmare call, every call moving forward, you're going to be like, okay, I won't say that again. I won't allow that to happen again. If they ask me that, I'm going to say this instead. And every call you get better and better. So it sucks. And I think it's uncomfortable to do everything for the first time, but you do this enough and you're going to be just fine after, I don't know, every call. But I'd say after 5 connections, you'll probably be a lot more comfortable than you will in the first one.
Mhm.
And also, dude, you guys are calling hiring managers trying to land a job, and nobody else is doing this. So it's a lot less difficult than a sales rep trying to ask someone for money for a product. So hiring managers are going to be a lot nicer to you. There's a lot less objections they can give you. They're not going to ask you how much do you cost. They're not going to ask you, do you have case studies? Like maybe they'll ask you, well, what's your experience? And you can tell them, I don't have technical experience, but I'm showing you I can cold call right now. So I mean, what else do I need to show you? So there's stuff you can be on your feet with. Go ahead, Julian. Thanks for raising your hand.
Yeah. So if we're applying to like a bigger company with a handful of different teams and departments and hiring managers, I feel like it can be tricky to find like the hiring manager that would actually work with you or look at your resume and all that. So if we're not sure kind of like who the right person to call is, should we just call like who we think fits best? How would you
100%.
go about finding the right person?
So I have this YouTube video I made on how to find hiring managers for every job that you guys apply for on LinkedIn, and I'd highly recommend that you watch this. I'll send it in the Zoom chat right now to make it easy for you. But LinkedIn's a really big tool that you need to be using, and I have a couple of strategies in here how to use that. Everyone knows who's looking. But I think the biggest thing for you is hitting up sales reps and asking them who the right hiring manager is. And if you can't find the right hiring manager on the call, you can say, "Hey, this is Lucas. If I were to tell you I was cold calling you regarding the open BDR position in SF, would you chuck your phone out the window?" And they can say, "Yeah, what do you got?" And then you tell them why you're calling. Worst case scenario, they go, "Honestly, man, I'm not the hiring manager for that role, but I can always refer you. Like, you should speak with this person, right?" Or if they say, "I'm not even the hiring manager," "Oh, who should I be speaking with?" And then you just go from there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would love to look at your video if you could send that over.
Yeah, watch. I think I put it in the Zoom chat. Can you guys see it?
Oh, yeah, I just got it.
Cool. Yeah, watch. That's very helpful. Just mute yourself for you if you can.
Sorry.
You're good. Go ahead, Samira. And Lance, I'll answer your question next.
Okay.
Okay, like what if they tell me, yeah, we're pretty stacked right now. We don't need any help. What do I say?
Oh, well, then why'd you post a job listing? Right? I mean, if they say
Right.
like I'm not looking to hire, then I mean it depends. Is that like a scenario where you applied and they weren't hiring, maybe? Or
Okay, the reason I even asked is because on LinkedIn, if somebody is saying that they're hiring, I hopped in the DM and I say, hey, this is Samira. It's just like a co-file, but I'm doing it.
yep.
Outreach Latino. And one of the responses that I got was the guy told me, he's like, yeah, we're pretty good right now. Thanks. And so I was just like, all right, well, have a good day, right? But now that I'm thinking about it, like, what if that was like a practice, and he wanted to see if I had an
Hmm,
objection. How would I handle that objection?
that's a really good question. A couple things there. First, he probably said that because everyone's doing that, DMing him on LinkedIn. And I'm about to make a YouTube video. I just wrote this in the script today. If you're looking at a bowl of green Jolly Ranchers, I don't like green Jolly Ranchers. That's why I'm using them. Each green Jolly Rancher is going to look gross or the same. But if there's the blue one in the bowl, it'll stand out like gold and you'll reach in and grab it. So if you DM him and hundreds of other people are DMing him, you're just like the green Jolly Rancher, right? It's hard to differentiate who's who. They all look gross, if you will. If
Right,
you cold call them, you're going to be the blue Jolly Rancher and stand out like gold, and he's going to pick through and pick
right,
you. So if he did say that on a call and say, you know what, we're good right now, look, I totally get it, man. You probably thought it with applicants. Are you saying that because you already hired someone for this position?
right.
Or did I not open this call well enough? Did I not impress you? That's how.
That, to be honest, because like what the thing for me, I get intimidated, and I just like, all right, and I give up, right? And
Hmm.
but like doing these situations like this and just being in sales, it's like you really look at the world differently. Every conversation you have is literally like either you telling me yes or no, and then I want to. It's okay for me to want to know why you're telling me no, like why. You feel
That's
me?
exactly the mentality you need to have. And remember, it's
Exactly.
harder to implement this than it is to understand it, but always rephrase what they say and then change the way you're asking it. So I don't need help right now. Okay, I got it. Like, just so I understand, like, I know you're probably really busy and you have a lot of applicants. You're repeating what they say. And you say,
Right,
just so I understand on my end, give them or this or that. Are you saying that because you already hired someone, or am I just not impressing you enough? And
right,
you're getting them to tell you the real answer to the no.
right.
If like giving you a crappy no, like a brush off, always get down to the bottom of it by rephrasing what they say and then re-ask your question in a different way.
Understood. Thank
Cool.
you.
Leonce, what do you got?
Yeah, so I told you about the company that I applied to I think a couple of weeks ago,
Mhm.
and I went through the first interview. It went really well.
Mhm.
And the second interview got scheduled, but this is a 1099. And it's not, it's not much, but it's a 20% commission. And I like it because I can still do a full-time job and still do this on the side.
Mhm.
I just have like I know one particular target market where I can like hit it really, really hard
Mhm.
and I can make some, decent money with it. So, but anyway, so first interview went really well. Second interview was set up by the VP of something in the company, I forgot. And this woman apparently she has been emailing me, and to my surprise, it went to the spam.
Oh no. Oh no.
Listen, I only found out earlier today. I'm like, no way. So I called her, and she kept like all. I forward the headlines, like the emails that she kept sending out. Listen, we're really impressed by your resume. The everything, we love it. You know, we'd love to schedule the second interview. Dude,
Oh,
this woman been reaching out for like a week now. I had no idea.
wow.
So
Well, so for sake of this call, just keep it around cold calling. Is there anything to the cold calling point that I can help you answer? If not, I could call you after this so we could talk through it together.
okay,
You want to do
okay.
that?
So yeah, yeah, that's fine. Because I would
Okay.
like to know like the answer, like how else what can I do to get the second interview on that part of it?
Call her, man.
Um,
Call her. That's really all I can say, and just try to
I
explain.
did, I did,
That
but
sucks.
yeah, so I
Well,
just
I'll
keep
call you after this. We'll game plan together, okay?
no problem, no problem.
All right.
Yeah. So I went through the the process with the guys, Ed and Donnie. It went well, but I just need to practice a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, the past month it's been really tough. school and everything, family and all that. So
I'm good,
I'm
man.
I'm getting the repetition going. So
Yeah, practice is everything, and everything, everybody in here needs to practice. Julian, go
yeah.
ahead. What do you?
I had a question regarding calling a hiring manager if you already have an interview set up. Um, I'm thankful that I just secured a couple interviews coming up in the next few weeks. But that being said, I still want to, of course, make a great impression. And I mean, I understand that could be done through the interview, but I'm trying to find ways to like, set myself apart, like you've been talking about. So
Yeah.
do you think it still makes sense to maybe attempt a cold call, even though you have like a time lined up with somebody?
I'd say if you have the interview, there's no point unless you are unsure of what you need to do to prep before then. Maybe you can say, hey, we have the interview set up. I don't know. Honestly, if I were you and you already have the interview, I'd walk into that interview with a cold call script like you're going to sell their product. So figure out what they sell and who they sell it to. And then if they, if they don't ask you to do a mock cold call, you can bring it up and be like, hey, look, I really want to show off my cold calling skills here. I actually am ready to do that right now if you want to do a mock cold call. Use the opener I gave you. Hey, this is Julian. If I were to tell you I was cold calling you regarding your hiring team, would you check your phone out the window, wherever that might look like? Or, hey, this is Julian. I just read your LinkedIn post on XYZ. This is by every means a cold call, but it's really well researched. May I tell you why I'm calling? And then go into the value prop and swap that out with like the reason why you're calling. So, I guess it's a different script completely. I actually have another YouTube video on how to do that, make up that script if you want to watch that as well. But I go into the interview to answer your question bluntly, with a cold calling script, like you're ready to sell their product. I wouldn't cold call them like you're trying to land an interview if you already got one.
So so mainly cold calling hiring managers is to like get an interview, right?
Yes, or
Okay,
follow up, right? But at that point, it's not a cold call; it's just a call.
gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Anyone else have any questions before I let you guys shoot off?
I got a question real quick.
Go ahead.
So this is just like an idea I have, right? So I got this guy that I'm familiar with. I kind of have a relationship with him, but he just got hired as an AE to a company. But he posted on LinkedIn that they were hiring like a month ago, bro. I'm like late on this, but he was like, "Yeah, send me a video, tell me about yourself." But he also put in there like, "Yeah, even a few people called me, right?" So I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna call." But this was like a month ago. Like I didn't know how to
Mhm.
call. So now, since I'm a little bit more confident, and I'm pretty sure that like he found his SDRs. He's probably not even looking no more. But I just want to call just to be like, "Hey, what's up? You still
Yeah,
looking or?"
if you have the referral too, it can't hurt to try. I mean, they might open up a position just for you if you put in a good word.
Exactly.
Yeah, so give
Okay.
it a shot. Just don't. I don't know what type of relationship you have with them. You said, but don't crap where you eat. Where you eat. I think they say like if it would be a toxic
Right.
environment, that. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I feel you.
I
It's
just
more
have
so just like a joke. Like, hey, still hiring? But seriously though, if you're gonna take me seriously, take me seriously.
Go ahead, Cassandra.
I just have a question. I know I saw in um the layout that we should send thank you letters. Um, so if we're having the interview and then sending the thank you letter, it may take a couple of days. Is that still good or
Overnight it if you can.
okay.
Yeah, if you questions outside of cold calling, DM me after. We'll talk about it. But let's keep this to cold calling for hiring managers just to stay on topic. But yeah, I mean, you guys all have my DM. So if you have any questions outside of this, just hit me up after. We'll talk. Cool. Well, if nobody has any other questions, I'm going to challenge you to practice this as many times as you can. We have six job seekers in here that are actively trying to pursue this role. So I'm sure they'll be happy to hop on a call for 10 minutes if you guys want to go back and forth on this. If you need any one-on-one help, DM me and we'll see if we could work together. And I'm happy to have that conversation. I don't know when the next workshop I'm going to have is going to be, but hopefully we see you guys there. And please make sure that you guys post your successes in the community. So if somebody picks up and hangs up on you, post it and tell people what you learned. If you land an interview, post it and inspire people that this stuff really works, because I want to make this community more active. We have like 210 people in there now, and it's just up to me to do that. So that's partially why I'm here. I'm gonna record, or this is recorded. I'm gonna post this to the group. So yeah, I mean, thank you guys for joining. I think I answered all the questions and we went through a lot. If you did everyone make a copy to that document, because it's gonna go away if not. Yeah, cool.
Me too.
You have everything you need, Lance. It's everything I've given you.
Oh, okay, good.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. It was nice to meet you all. Thank you all for turning on your cameras and being so interactive. And I wish you guys the best. God bless you. And we'll talk hopefully sometime soon.
All right,
Thank
see you guys.
for your time, Lucas.
All right, man.
Thanks so much. Bye, everyone.